And New York State lawmakers are set to take on a bill which would make COVID-19 vaccinations a requirement for residents. One America's Caitlin Sinclair has that story.
New Yorkers have been hearing about this proposed legislation that would make the COVID-19 vaccine mandatory. We first heard about this over a week ago and no updates since. We believe it's sitting at the State Assembly, of course. What can you tell us as far as what this bill would essentially mandate?
Well, I know that this is, a bill that's right now in committee, and that there have been, in the recent days, there have been several articles written about it, and Assemblymember Rosenthal has introduced this bill, and what this bill would do is mandate that anyone who doesn't have a doctor's exemption to have the COVID vaccine. And this is very scary because this is basically taking away your individual human rights. And also, how in the world could government mandate that in order to live in a state you have to have a vaccine, or you have to have any kind of medical treatment of any sort in order to become to be a resident of the state? It goes against the Constitution of the United States. It goes against the Bill of Rights.
Totally, absolutely. And now the people of your borough and your district, tell our viewers what they've expressed when word first broke about this.
People of Staten Island are really upset about it, and I'm sure that there are people of other counties that are upset about it as well, because we have seen government overreach, all in the name of this pandemic, this emergency pandemic, which, by the way, has a 99% recovery rate. And while we watch on television, and in big tech and in the news media, that they tell us daily about how many deaths there are, how many hospitalizations, how many positive tests, they don't talk to us about the fact that there's a 99% recovery rate for this pandemic.
Right. So, Letitia, we also wanted to have you on to discuss another new bill that's floating around out there, which would essentially be able to force New Yorkers into a medical facility. This all if the governor's commissioners label you as possibly dangerous to society. Now, this would affect all of us if any future pandemic were to hit us. So what is this all about?
Oh, it's insanity. So there's a new bill out by Assemblymember Perry, and it is A416. You can look it up. And basically it states that if in a pandemic, if the governor will have executive orders and will allow for anyone who is deemed a cause of spreading the pandemic or spreading the disease, and their family or any others that they deem, they can remove you from your home and place you in a medical facility until the governor or the governor's commissioners deem you are no longer a health risk.
Wow, and there are so many New Yorkers right now that are unaware this bill even exists. How many more New Yorkers would this scare away?
It's the scariest thing I've ever seen, and it is against every right we have as American citizens. And I can't imagine that anyone would want to live in New York knowing that their rights can be easily stripped through this proposed legislation.
Well, Letitia, I know you've been doing everything to speak up, organizing rallies, events, and we thank you for educating New Yorkers, and thank you for your time today.